The clerk will report any communications from the governor.
Dear Senators, I am disappointed to see the General Assembly reconvening this week to ram through a constitutional amendment.
Madam President.
For what purpose does the senator from Eastern Fairfax County rise?
I'd move to waive reading of the communication by the governor.
The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the governor be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading of the communication from the governor will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 19, no 16.
Ayes 19, no 16. The reading of the communication from the governor is waived.
You know, I've been here for even longer than the senator from Franklin County. I've been here with Republican governors and Democratic governors. I've heard and seen governors send messages to the General Assembly. Never that I can recall did we ever refuse to hear the message that was delivered from one of our governors. We've got on our desk a message from our current governor, Governor Youngkin, and while the contents of it may not be something that everybody wants to hear, I would respectfully submit that we owe the governor the respect of at least listening to what the governor has to say. On our desk is this message. Dear Senators, I'm disappointed to see the General Assembly reconvening this week to ram through a constitutional amendment on redistricting only 7 days before the close of our 2025 statewide and House of Delegates elections. And with over 1 million voters already having cast their ballots, there's nothing more shameless than an 11th hour political power grab and attempt to distract voters from the issues in the current election. Those issues are about character. And while I'm extremely disappointed, I'm not at all surprised that House and Senate Democratic leadership would pursue this action to thwart the will of the voters on behalf of national Democratic organizations that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars in contributions to support redistricting in Virginia. Instead, this week's session will waste hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars on a pay-for-play power grab and will undermine the will of the voters who just 5 years ago overwhelmingly voted 2-1 to codify independent redistricting into our Constitution. Instead of engaging in this shameless exercise, the House and Senate Democratic leadership should work on bipartisan basis with the entire General Assembly to serve their constituents here in Virginia by acting on common priorities. There are many issues that deserve our shared attention. Last week, I declared a state of emergency to ensure that needy Virginians can access healthy food and do not go hungry as a result of the Democratic shutdown in Washington. Power bills remain too high due to the Virginia Clean Economy Act, a fact repeatedly acknowledged by the Speaker. Successful efforts like Ceasefire Virginia are battling back against gang violence. But some cities are refusing to partner with federal law enforcement agencies on their critical public safety operations. Federal guidance on protecting women and girls from sexual predators in intimate, legitimately separated spaces is being ignored by local jurisdictions. But instead of working together to solve any of those urgent issues, House and Senate Democrats are focused on playing partisan games, wasting time, energy, and taxpayer dollars. Only 5 years ago, 2/3 of Virginians spoke loud and clear when they voted to codify independent redistricting into our state's constitution. This week's reconvening is an attempt to subvert the will of the voters who thoughtfully considered and overwhelmingly voted to remove this very same politics from our redistricting process. More egregious is the recent news that the National Democratic Redistricting Committee gave House Democratic Caucus and the Democratic candidate for governor $300,000 for this effort on the eve of leadership calling back the General Assembly. I'm confident that Virginians will see through this shameless pay-to-play stunt. Respectfully, Glenn Youngkin. Madam President, I thank you.
This letter is an attempt by the governor to inject himself into a process in which he is constitutionally and practically and politically irrelevant. But he talks about undermining the will of the voters, potentially giving the voters a choice to revisit their past decision in a small way under extraordinary circumstances undermines no one. Thank you.